welcome to Issues with Cartoons, the week without fear. We're continuing our Daredevil coverage. I'm Carl Lucas.
I'm Kyle Windle.
And this is the show where we talk about comics and cartoons. We're continuing our coverage with Daredevil, Born Again, perhaps the most prolific Frank Miller storyline, and we're picking it up at 227.
Yeah, where the storyline of Born Again starts. I think you're right. I think this is probably in the legacy of Marvel Comics that you can hand to people, in evergreen comics that you can just give to someone who's never read a Daredevil comic before. Like, what's a good Daredevil comic? I think you can hand them this.
Yeah.
It's one of those one of those rare evergreen Marvel comics. Incredibly well done. I mean, masterfully written and drawn. Written by Frank Miller, drawn by David Mazzucchelli.
Notable to bring up the same team from Batman Year One.
Absolutely important to bring up.
So it's almost like a victory lap. It's like, we conquered Batman, let's conquer Daredevil. You know, it's like, let's bring in the All-Stars.
Worth noting, it's a return to Daredevil for Frank Miller.
Mm.
David Mazzucchelli might have even had a crack or two at Daredevil before. I'm not positive.
I'm not sure on that.
But I do know, like, Frank Miller had stepped away from Daredevil with 191, and then went off to do some Batman books, and then came back for Born Again, because he had more in him, more Daredevil to tell. And what a story to tell! I mean, this is...
It's worthy of him coming back.
Oh, absolutely!
To tell
This is,
you know.
If I had this idea, I would want to come back. This is the deconstruction of Matt Murdock as Daredevil, the kind of breakdown and building up of a hero, to kind of see what makes him tick, to see what's really there when you strip away all the trappings. And it's an incredible story.
Yeah, he's setting the stage for new stories afterwards. Because like this book completely changes the status quo.
This book is what every creative team on Daredevil has been trying to recapture. For the next 30 to 40 years. And it's true. And they'll tell you that too. I mean, I think maybe, so Ann Nocenti does a celebrated run after this.
With John Romita Jr.
With John Romita Jr., Lee Weeks. But, like, Bendis will tell you, like, Bendis' whole thing is, like, tearing Matt Murdock's life apart with, like, outing him as Matt Murdock to the world. And
doesn't he make Kingpin the mayor as well?
One of them does, either him or Brubaker or somebody.
Or Murdock becomes Kingpin.
It's been a long time since I've read them.
I don't know.
Regardless,
I personally haven't read it.
Those have all been kind of acknowledging that, like, Frank did it first, and it's here that he does it.
So you're almost saying that's almost become like a recurring thing with Daredevils, to shake up that status quo,
right,
dramatically.
Like the plot of Daredevil stories for a long time was make Matt Murdock miserable. I mean,
that's fair. That
was kind of the marching orders of Daredevil comics for a long time, and to the point where, like, when Mark Waid takes over, with Paulo Rivera and Marcus Martin and Chris Samnee, making it just a regular superhero book almost was refreshing. Like, because he was so gloomy and dark for decades.
Switch the tone up a little bit.
But we're here to talk about Born Again, which is the namesake of the Disney Plus show that is debuting. If we're airing all these shows on time, it'll be debuting tomorrow.
Yeah. And we're kind of celebrating Daredevil,
absolutely.
too. I mean, like, as many jokes as we've made and stuff. This is a celebration of Daredevil lore and
I have nothing but love for Daredevil.
Me too.
And I think we both are in that same camp. We were making a lot of jokes yesterday about our different opinions about Punisher.
Yeah.
And we were having fun.
It's all fun.
I don't think, though... I think it's a good example of how, like, we come from very different sides of the Marvel Universe, and we find ourselves converging on Daredevil. Because I think Daredevil is just almost unanimously agreed upon as being a great book and a great character. And I think this is a great example of that.
We talked a good bit about how the characterization of Daredevil is more consistent than other characters, because he's had so many great writers over the years, and great artists contributing to the lore.
And I think everyone kind of agrees on the psychosis, on the motivations, on the
it's unwavering.
On the inner workings of Matt Murdock. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the premise of Born Again. The premise of Born Again begins right here on page 1 of 227 where we're in, I think it's LA, I think it's in California.
It is.
And Karen Page, who we have not seen at all in our coverage of Daredevil since we talked about Daredevil Yellow. We've not seen her at all in, even in our readings off the record, where we were reading all of Frank Miller's and Klaus Jansson's run. Karen Page is nowhere to be found. She has been off the book for a while. And we find her now in a room with an adult film producer, I think.
Yeah, he's offering her drinks and stuff.
He's offering her drinks and stuff.
Yeah.
And she wants drugs. She's become an addict. And she is trading Daredevil's secret identity for a hit of drugs. Mm-hmm. That's how far we have fallen.
She needs a fix.
She needs a fix. She's become like an adult film star. She's become a big hit at stag parties, he says. Like, basically, she's become like a prostitute, drug addict. Like, she's been completely destroyed as a person.
Fallen from grace, for sure.
Which in itself is controversial and is maybe something we can talk about, but very much a way that Frank Miller has approached women in his stories before. It's where he kind of almost glamorizes the sex work and stuff like that.
I think it's all for shock value, though, at its core. Probably. I think he does this a lot with, like, even Dark Knight Strikes Again. He just, like, takes beloved characters like Karen Page, and he's just, like, inverting them.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to get a rise out of people. He's like, look, I'm going to take Karen Page, and she's a junkie.
Right.
And here's the story.
Yeah.
You know, and we're off running. The secret identity rides up the ladder, the organized crime, and it finds its way into a familiar character we've talked about, the Kingpin.
Yeah. Man, David Mazzucchelli draws a hell of a Kingpin.
And yeah, that shot of Kingpin on his yacht with his inner circle, and he's just like smoking, and he's standing out of his shirt. That panel is burned into my brain.
Oh, sure.
Like, it's a great panel.
Yeah, and you know what, too? Like,
when people talk about this story.
We read Amazing Spider-Man 50, which is the debut of the Kingpin, and that silhouette, consistent.
Yeah,
like
it's never changed.
It's incredibly consistent. So yeah, he's gotten the identity of Matt Murdock, and he's as Daredevil, and he's going to test out the information. And so then we kind of flash forward 6 months later, and we get this splash, which becomes a motif throughout the next several issues of Born Again, which is Matt laying in bed in a bird's eye view camera angle. Where he's laying, right now in this issue, he's laying in bed comfortably in his sheets. And you get the title page, Apocalypse, by Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli. Ralph Macchio was the editor. I didn't realize that. And Jim Shooter's still the editor-in-chief. Christie Scheele is the colorist, and Joe Rosen is the letterer.
The bed shot's almost to show, like, the disintegration of Matt's character throughout this arc.
Right now, he's living in the comfort of his own home.
Yeah.
And he's living, he's pretty well taken care of. And
it's normal.
Yeah, everything's normal.
He wakes up, he gets his red bathrobe, which I thought was funny.
That is funny.
Yeah, he puts that on, he goes about, you know.
I like the color holds out of the buildings outside of the window. I think that's a good way to show depth. He's got a pretty nice little penthouse here.
So basically, his last payments from the bank haven't been going through.
So things are starting to slowly show that things are not all well at the Murdoch residence.
Yeah.
He's delinquent on his mortgage payments. The IRS has frozen his assets. He finds out that his girlfriend Glory is pretty much dumping him by phone. And then he gets subpoenaed to be in front of a grand jury for bribing a witness to perjure himself. And this all is happening in one morning. So in one morning,
it's all one day.
He's delinquent on his mortgage payments. His assets are frozen by the IRS. His girlfriend dumps him. He's subpoenaed for a crime he didn't commit. And he finds out that the cop that we have been seen Daredevil interact with for most of the Miller Daredevil run, Nick Manolis, has basically implicated Matt in this perjury scheme. And so as Daredevil, he's going to go and confront him. But before that, we cut to Glory's apartment, and it's been ransacked. And Foggy shows up to basically console her and help put things back together. We also get Ben Urich, who we've talked about in other coverage of Daredevil Week, but Ben Urich plays a big part in Born Again. And he's trying to get a hold of Matt Murdock to ask him about this bribery perjury scandal. And Matt is very cold in talking to him and like won't answer his questions.
Yeah, he won't open up to him.
So Daredevil finds solace the only way he can, and that's by dressing up as Daredevil and leaping across some rooftops.
He's got to go fix it.
Look at the body language that Mazzucchelli gives Daredevil. It's just stunning.
I think a lot of this page stands out too because it's like this bright red against all this white.
Yeah,
it's snowing. The environment is really helping that Bob with these color choices and stuff. The colors are really muted throughout this whole comic. They're subtle. It's not like bright and colorful, which suits the story.
I love some of the shadow work, even like some of the colorful shadow work that you see throughout some of this book. It's just really, really nice. And we keep cutting back to Foggy and Gloria, and Gloria seems to kind of be hitting on Foggy a little bit. Like maybe she's more interested in Foggy than she is with Matt.
She's trying to move in. She says earlier, like I can't stay here tonight. She's cozying up to Foggy more and more throughout this.
But Matt has bigger fish to fry. He's got to talk to Nick Manolis, so he goes to Nick Manolis, confronts him about lying about Murdoch, and Manolis tells him to leave. Threatens to hit him with a broken bottle, and Matt handles him pretty quickly and then sees himself out, but hangs around to listen to Manolis talk to someone on the phone about his son's medical treatments.
Yeah.
And we find out that someone's pressuring Manolis to lie about Matt Murdock.
He's being blackmailed, essentially, so that's why he betrays him.
So things are starting to make more sense. When he calls Foggy to talk about what's going on, Glory answers, and that kind of throws Matt off a little bit.
Yeah, Foggy's not around. His gas has been turned off. I think his phone line's disconnected. It's just, things keep escalating.
Things aren't going well for Matt.
Is this duotone on this page? Like with the Kingpin in his...
It is.
Yeah, there's this page.
Certainly all these photographs and all these things in the background. That's definitely duotone.
I was looking at that. I was like, it's gotta be.
It's really good looking.
Yeah.
It's really good looking. The photographs that the Kingpin is looking at of his monitoring of Matt Murdock is portrayed with duotone and some zipatones, I think, on those bleeds.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It stands out from the other pages.
This is just incredibly well crafted. This whole
book.
And Mazzucchelli is a master. And if you've read Born Again or Batman Year One and you want to read more Mazzucchelli, read Asterios Polyp to see just how much Mazzucchelli can stretch his artistic ability. Because he's incredibly gifted as a storyteller and as a cartoonist.
Some of his faces in this are really remarkable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's an outstanding artist. Yeah, just can't say any more good things about him. Yeah. So
we kind of are flashing through things. Matt as Daredevil is sort of kind of losing it. He's starting to beat up on people, trying to find out who's been pressuring Murdoch or pressuring Manolis and who's been kind of ruining Murdoch's life. And Foggy ends up representing Matt in court and manages to avoid jail time and manages to just get him his law license revoked. So instead of being imprisoned, he ends up just losing his license.
I love this part with Kingpin has this inner monologue where he's just kind of I don't know, he's kind of celebrating his victory over Matt. He's like, Matt Murdock is Daredevil and I'm tearing him down, and he's questioning like, oh, once Matt's teared down, he'd be a great asset. You know, I could recruit him when I finally break him.
He says that about Foggy too. He says I need to make a note about how good this is so I can hire him later. But you're right, because he's also like, I need to deny myself the pleasure of killing Matt. Like,
yeah,
I could so easily do it, and it'd be so satisfying, but I can't do it. I need to
let the
myself.
plan tear him down.
Let the plan
stick to my notes.
We cut back to Karen, and Karen's going for another hit.
Full junkie mode.
But then Fisk has arranged it so that anyone who touched the information of Matt is Daredevil has to die, because he doesn't want the trail following him leading back to Kingpin. Mm-hmm. So Karen stumbles into the drug dealer being murdered. She's almost murdered, but she gets away.
Barely.
And her one thought is Matt, and that makes her feel ashamed. And this issue ends with Matt walking home and the building, his home, blowing up in an incredibly effective page.
I love how erratic that panel frame
Look
is.
at those panel frames,
because,
man.
like, you could tell he just didn't use a ruler. He just went for that.
Yeah, he was just making a chaotic shape.
It's cool.
And he finds the remnants of his costume, and he says, "So you know, so that's why. I never would have connected it to you. Nothing about it said gangster until this. It was a nice piece of work, Kingpin. You shouldn't have signed it." Which is such a Miller monologue, and it's so hard-boiled, and it's just scrumptious. It's delicious. It sets the tone for how pissed off Matt is and what we're in for as far as a conflict. And like, that's the last time you see that Daredevil costume for a while. Like, he doesn't put that on very much in this storyline.
And not towards the end. And I think you brought up a great point a few episodes back about how, you know, Bullseye telling Kingpin that Matt Murdock is Daredevil. That really pays off in this storyline.
Yeah. And that was in 181. That was like, what, 40 issues almost?
Yeah.
35 issues ago.
It's cool.
It's very cool.
It's cool how that continuity lines up and stuff. All right, so we're on 228 now.
Purgatory. So we had Apocalypse, now we're in Purgatory.
Yeah, again, religious theme here.
Keeping with some religious themes. Interesting.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
I like the symbolism of that in play. Right?
So we have a domestic scene of Foggy changing a light bulb with Glory right there, which is very sweet, very cute. But then we cut to another above shot bed motif.
And now, he's in the cheapest apartment he could get. I think it's $15.
Yeah,
this apartment. And they say that in this. Yeah.
Left me with $10 to my name. I found a hotel.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Change.
Give me your $10.
And he's in this broom closet basically. And like, it's again just showing like kind of the state of Matt Murdock. He's in a fetal position. He's not sprawled out on his back, all comfortable in sheets. He's kind of curled up in a ball, wearing his clothes. And the title is Purgatory. Yeah,
continuing that visual motif you brought up. It's cool that you brought that up. That does echo throughout that. Where Matt sleeps.
And it's done with purpose. It shows a through line of Matt's state of mind, of his state of existence and everything. Like, he's not doing well.
Miller's really good at painting this picture that Matt is kind of giving into his delusions a bit. He's going crazy at this point. His foundation's been stripped for him, but now his mind is starting to go.
Yeah.
And that starts happening in this issue. Like, Matt's starting to just lose his identity.
Yeah.
His identity is...
almost like he was only propped up by that life he had created for himself. And
Lawyer.
That kept him from spiraling and becoming that kind of berserk character. This, I'm skipping a couple pages ahead, but this page of Kingpin looking out of those 3 pane windows onto the city is stunning.
That's great.
And the whole 3-panel sequence, every image on that sequence is a banger. It just is gorgeous.
I agree.
The smoke off of the cigar, the piercing eyes looking directly at the reader, the color holds for the skyline out of the window. Really, really sharp. Really good looking.
Yeah, and this is Kingpin triumphant. He's smiling, which you rarely see.
Yeah.
Like, Kingpin's, enjoying his victory here. Alright, so,
Yeah, to your point about Matt spiraling, like, he envisions himself walking out of the door and envisions himself standing over Kingpin, like, with bloody fists. And like, he's daydreaming, hallucinating about beating Kingpin to death.
Yeah, he'll make a good punching bag. He's fat enough. He's saying stuff that, like, the characterization of Matt up to this point, like, Matt normally wouldn't say this stuff, but like I said, his mind is going.
Yeah.
Like, he's starting to lose touch with reality, and yeah, that panel of him beating Kingpin to death's fun. Oh, I mean, like, I'm glad they put that in there.
Well, and to your point about him losing touch with reality, he's like, I'm not calling Gloria again. She doesn't deserve me. I'm calling the operator to find out what time it is. But then it cuts, and he is calling Glory, because she picks up, and she says, "No, Matt, please don't say such things." And when Foggy tries to talk, Matt hangs up. So, like, he's clearly, something is not okay.
Foggy's starting to realize it. The thing about the timing of this is, like, Foggy is so rolled into this relationship.
Yes.
That he's kind of, like, tapping out of what Matt's doing at the worst time.
Yeah.
Matt's falling apart.
I know. Not really being there for his buddy.
And here's an example of Matt's delusions. He's like, he picks up the phone. He's like, "I'm on to you, Nelson."
Yeah. Well, because for a minute he was like, maybe Foggy's in on it.
Yeah, maybe Foggy betrayed him.
Because Foggy, he called Foggy at 7 a.m. and Glory answered. So, like, maybe in his warped mind that's not doing so well right now, he's starting to kind of believe that maybe Foggy is trying to steal his girl and ruin Matt's life.
So I got the price of rent totally wrong here. It's $8.
Oh, only $8.
Yeah, I added inflation to it. He's all right. He's like, "Give me your $8 or you're out of here." And Matt beats up his new landlord.
He chokes him. Does he kill him?
He just beats the crap out of him.
He just.
I like to imagine he kills him.
Yeah.
Much like Bullseye in one.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I'm just kidding. All right.
Are you though?
Keep going. I just wish you were the Punisher.
I know. You should read the Punisher sometime.
I'm gonna read Man Without Fear again.
Yeah.
So they keep, like, here on out, Kingpin's just training. I feel like there's a lot of shots of Fisk in his gym talking to what is it, Wesley?
Wesley, who is a character featured in season 1 of Daredevil, the Netflix show.
Is this the first time Wesley shows up?
No, he was in the first issue of this story.
No, I mean, like, in terms of an arc. Like,
I've never heard
Does Wesley show up? Yeah, does Wesley show up before this? I don't think he shows up.
I think he debuts in Born Again.
Yeah, and
Wesley, which is cool. That's another connection to the Netflix show.
Yeah, and he was good in the show. I like that they use Wesley as a precursor to Kingpin in the show.
Yeah, he's kind of like the front man. He's kind of like the scout. Something like that.
She's the face.
Yeah.
Or something,
the proxy.
Yeah. Anyway.
But, you don't get a body like the Kingpins without going to the gym every day. But they're pretty much just reflecting on how much Matt's life is ruined.
And I love this character. Has, like, this strange, I don't know what to call it. It's like this weird dialect. He's like, "Murdoch seems unappreciative as the communal predicament. It is not until he himself faces the business end of one of the aforementioned firearms." This character shows up before this, I believe, and he's like this mobster that works for the Kingpin. He's very reminiscent of one of Frank's Sin City characters. He has the same dialect. You know what I'm talking about. He's in the film. Mm-hmm. He's in the Sin City film, but then he's like, in his first move, I'm unfortunately unable to reticulate, as myself am momentarily distracted. Suffice to say that you suffers damage of a structural nature to his wrist and to his ribs.
Yeah, just that very kind of calculated, methodical way of talking. And I feel like Wesley in the TV show does that too, where he's just kind of like very matter of fact, very all business kind of proper.
Yeah, so he's like retelling this story of Matt on the subway to the Kingpin.
Yes.
I'm sorry, this wasn't Wesley. This was this character. But Wesley does premiere in this story.
Are we sure that's not Wesley? I think that might be Wesley.
I think this character, he's describing the subway situation to Matt.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like Murdoch manifests his combat acumen of startling proportion, and Leavis' response is extreme. And he's like reading it to Kingpin while he's working out, and Kingpin's almost like getting off on this shit.
Yeah,
like
I was gonna say,
he's like lifting the weights, and he's like, lovely.
That's like, weird. But basically, like, this is all going exactly how Kingpin hoped.
Yeah, that's basically what's established here.
And Matt's trying to call Foggy, but
he's
imagining he's calling Foggy.
I love this scene. Yeah, he's talking to Foggy about like, oh, the Kingpin's done this. He's brainwashed me. But we don't see Foggy pick up the phone. Yeah. And the phone just drops.
And the phone says, at the tone, the time will be 10:32.
So this sequence implies that, like you said, Foggy was never there.
He's talking to nobody.
He's crazy.
Totally unhinged.
Yeah, Matt's gone.
Yeah, we
Karen Page
is Karen.
Yeah, Karen Page is on a quest to find Matt at this point. She's trying to outrun this gunman. She's just trying to get back to New York. We get a little bit of Jane Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, Ben's trying to talk Jameson into backing Murdoch because he says Murdoch's upstanding. He wouldn't lie. He's
a good man.
He's a straight shooter. Yeah. And so then Matt shows up to the Kingpin's gym.
Yeah, and we've got awesome confrontation. I love there's no dialogue because we don't need it.
You don't need it. It's a great fight, and Matt gives it everything he's got.
It is bloody.
Kingpin hits him 3 times and takes him and puts him on the ground, and then gives him one final hit.
And then throws him into a sinking car.
Dude, it's such a good shot.
Yeah.
Of this taxi under the
river.
Water. Unbelievable good.
And so the twist is Kingpin's like finally like, wow, I just beat up Matt Murdock / Daredevil and put him in this car. He's sinking to his death, but the problem is
there's no corpse.
Nobody to confirm it.
Nobody. So. And then the last page is Daredevil
in an alley.
Murdoch, in an alley with some homeless people, looking disheveled and dripping wet.
And that's a great thing about this story. It plays with the tropes so well.
Yes.
Because like we're kind of, I don't know. It was really out of the norm to show Matt alive in the same issue. Yeah. I feel like if this was a typical Marvel comic, we'd see Matt alive next issue. But this is just like, hey, he's alive. This has happened over and over and over.
He's alive. This
is an
excellent. It's escalating.
Yeah.
It's escalating.
Accelerate. I don't know.
Issue 229 is called Pariah. And we get a little flashback to when Matt saves the blind man and becomes blinded. And we get... there's
some delusional stuff. A lot of this issue is Matt, like... Actually, I have that wrong. I'm thinking of a previous Miller issue.
I love this, though. I love where you kind of have just a little bit of the page is close up on Matt being in excruciating pain, and then a lot of dialogue and
his father talking to him
that is escalating and ringing in his ears.
Maggie comes and talks to him.
Right,
it's like all the supporting cast.
Yeah, and then the dialogue shifts from Jack Murdoch to Maggie Murdoch, and he remembers touching the cross, and he's just, and then you get, by the time you get to page 7 of your digital reader, you get that above shot angle.
He's a bum in the street.
He's a bum in the street. So we went from living comfortably at home, laying like sprawled out in bed, to being in the fetal position in a shoddy hotel room, to now he's living on the streets, even more curled up, just completely exposed to the elements.
Poor man.
And this episode is called Pariah. And it's Christmas time.
Okay. Yeah, this gave me Batman Returns vibes.
Sure. Yeah.
Giant Christmas tree downtown.
Superheroes aren't Christmas stories. Gives you a little...
Batman Returns is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll go along with that. So we get a little domestic stuff with Foggy and Glory are shopping for Christmas gifts. They're pretty much a couple now.
Yeah, they're shacked up.
I'm sure it says somewhere how long it's been since Matt's apartment blew up, but
I don't think it's
But Foggy and Glory get jumped. They get mugged. She's a perch snatcher comes by, and Foggy takes a bowling ball and chucks it at this dude's face. And I guess it didn't kill him. He runs off.
I'd be dead.
I know.
I wouldn't survive.
I would at least be taking a very long nap.
Yeah, I wouldn't be alive after that.
So Ben finds out that Manoli's son is in the hospital. And he
follows that up.
He's starting to question him about Matt Murdock and the claims against Matt Murdock.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of implies that the treatment that his son is receiving requires a lot of money.
Yeah, he's starting to piece together like the Kingpin's plan a little bit.
Worth noting that there is a nurse in the background listening to this the whole time.
Yeah, keep this in mind. This nurse comes back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
a little bit of
foreshadowing.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, Karen's having heroin withdrawals and is stumbling her way across the country trying to get away from the killers who are chasing her.
Yeah, we keep just cutting into her.
We keep checking in on her.
Yeah, it's usually a page.
The color palette on this page is very Watchmen to me, with the purples and the magentas and the yellows and everything.
It is.
And it feels very 1980s to me.
Little street scene. Matt kind of just climbing.
Matt getting hit in traffic. I don't know. He's just having a tough time, man.
That car wreck underwater took it out of him. He's still he's not recovered from that.
No. We see Turk and Grotto again, who are going to dress up as Santas to fight.
I thought that was ridiculous.
Homeless Matt Murdock, and they stab him.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. And so
Nick's son then dies with Uric.
Yeah, Nick's son dies.
Anyway, despite all the Kingpin's help and all this stuff,
so Nick agrees to talk to Ben, and we see this nurse kind of watching them walk off, and she's not too pleased.
Yeah. Now, this character that comes to Karen Page, we see Matt struggling a little bit more, but this next thread's kind of important. So this guy kind of becomes Karen Page's new sugar daddy. Yes. Kind of like he's paying for her. He's like, I'm a big fan of your movies. I've seen you before. Hey, if you need a ride, come with me, baby. She's
all I need is the company.
Yeah. That's what he says, and she's just like, whatever it takes. She just wants a fix, and she wants out of the country.
Yes.
We find out that this guy is a real bad dude, because the killers that are chasing Karen Page finally catch up to her in this restaurant, and there's a shootout between her and this new boyfriend. And he grabs her, and he's like, you better be worth this. So this guy's like incredibly violent. Oh, yeah, man. But Karen's basically using him to get back to the United States to see Matt.
Right.
It's all part of her escape plan.
Yeah.
So after that unsettling stuff, we have, Matt's wandering the streets.
Matt's
still.
bleeding out.
Yeah.
Trying to find his home.
Trying to find the gym. Exist. The gym. They tore down the gym.
And then Foggy and Glory finally hook up. And she's officially moved on from Matt. But while Matt's life is falling apart and while Foggy and Glory are getting together, Nick and Ben are in the parking lot of the hospital talking, and the nurse comes up, punches Nick, grabs Ben,
and an arm peel.
Breaks his,
like an arm peel.
And breaks his arm.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, beats the crap out of him. And so while Matt is basically taking his frustrations out on a punching bag, we cut across to the various scenes that we're left with at the end of this issue, with him collapsing in the gym, Karen being given a fix by her new boyfriend who's taking advantage of her.
Mm-hmm.
Ben sprawled out on the concrete floor of the parking garage. Matt unconscious, and then arrives Maggie in a composition that is evoking the Pietà.
This could be in Watchmen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like this like symbolism, and then the characters talking. It's almost like when they zoom in on the Doomsday Clock or something.
Right.
They'd have those single panels of the Doomsday Clock. It reminds me of that.
Sure.
Yeah, and our last page that's a beautiful shot.
It's the Are you familiar with the Pietà, the Michelangelo sculpture with Mary holding?
I'm not.
Jesus. Okay.
I'm not.
So
is that what this is?
Art history nerds will know this. So if you ever look up Pietà, Pieta, it's basically Mary holding the dead body of Jesus in her lap, and it's a common art. It's referenced in art throughout history. Like it was a Michelangelo sculpture that people have been kind of riffing on, and it's a very famous art history. It doesn't surprise me that Mazzucchelli would do this.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's very good, and very in keeping with the themes of Born Again.
Awesome. I never knew that. I just thought I didn't realize it was a homage to that.
So and
it's interesting.
The death and rebirth of Matt Murdock, Daredevil, is very Christian allegorical.
It's very Catholic.
It's very Catholic.
Got to keep it Daredevil week.
Right, but I mean, like this is the low point, right? This is the crucifixion.
This is the death before the resurrection.
He's dead under the punching bag.
And the status quo, he is very much reborn. Daredevil's reborn. The story. So you're right. This like comparison to like Christ and
very intentional.
Yeah. It has religious overtones.
And they lampshade it by having his nun mother holding him like Christ.
This is the story though that establishes Maggie as his mother, like for sure. Because he senses her heartbeat.
Yeah.
She comes to. We're not quite there yet, but
that's the next issue.
But she lies to him. She says, "No, I don't know what you're talking about, but Matt can sense her heartbeat, and he knows she's lying." So that's the closest we get to confirmation. This is 230 Born Again.
Issue 230.
On the cover.
We get a little recap of what's been going on, and then we get the above shot of Matt in bed in at a convent where he's laying in the Christ pose with Maggie holding his hand. And if the Christian imagery hadn't been more on the nose, it is now.
Yeah.
But like it's pretty clear now what kind of story we're telling.
This is the resurrection of Matt Murdock.
The resurrection of Matt Murdock. And we cut away to Karen, who's moving through, moving back into America with her new boyfriend. Kingpin is obsessed with the fact that they have not found a body, and he's sure that Matt Murdock is still alive.
Yeah, he knows he's out there.
Nelson has moved on. He's got a new job, and Gloria is now his girlfriend. Nick Manolis has been found dead, I think.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he's dead.
And
they don't. I don't know if they say it.
And Ben is worse for wear.
Yeah, Ben's not doing great either.
And it's just gonna get worse for Ben, by the way. Like things don't go well for Ben.
No.
So basically, as we kind of do these check-ins on other characters.
Now Karen gets to the States, and this is kind of she's saying goodbye to her boyfriend here. She wants to get rid of him. Sure, he's got the junk as much as she wants, but there's only one man she wants to be with now. And she says she'll quit, and she says goodbye to Polio with a kiss as a final payment. But
she's pro about it, but it isn't enough for him.
Polio, I think, comes back after or later.
I think so. We get our first mention of Nuke.
Yeah, here's Wesley. This is Wesley. You know, I was a little confused earlier with the.
That was my fault.
One of his monsters.
I said that was Wesley, and I was wrong.
Oh, good. This is Wesley here. Nobody's ever used him in a domestic job. He's a,
I knew who Nuke was because I've read Mark Grunwald Captain America comics where they mentioned Nuke, but I had not read about Nuke until I first read Born Again.
Same.
However long that was. And like, it's just buckle up, folks. It gets wild.
Nuke is so wild.
Nuke is wild.
I like this panel of Kingpin where he snaps back at Wesley and he's like, "I did not invite debate."
Yeah, what a presence, man! Just incredible. So
Matt's still in the church, the basement of the church, whatever's going on there. We get a little overview of the city. Matt wakes up. Here's the scene with Maggie.
Yeah.
She tells him, that her name's Maggie. You're staying here.
Yeah, this whole issue kind of cuts between these scenes. So it's between Karen, Foggy, Matt, and Ben, and a little bit of Kingpin. But we're following these threads, and we kind of get a little movement in their storylines with every other page. So she introduces herself as Maggie. Meanwhile, Karen reveals that she didn't actually get to say goodbye to Apollo because he wanted to have sex and not just to kiss goodbye. And Karen calls Foggy.
Yeah, she calls Foggy, and Foggy's like, "Hey, it's been a long time." And he even says this panel here, he's like, "Old times, geez, it wasn't that long ago." And it's almost like Foggy is reflecting on like how much he's changed with Gloria, is it? And not that much time has actually passed. But right. From Foggy's point of view, a lot of time has passed with this relationship. Things are moving fast for him.
Yeah.
Whereas, she's just trying to get out of there. So I think they agree to meet. Is basically what happened. So Foggy is going to meet up with Karen at some point.
Yeah.
But Paulio isn't happy about that. He's like, you can't be running out on me, to go see your friend. He's like, you're mine now. He pulls a knife on her and stuff. So there's this looming threat of like Karen can't get away from Paulio because he's so violent and stuff. So he keeps pursuing her as she tries to get away.
And meanwhile, Ben is getting kind of harangued by Jameson for, I guess, just from putting himself in harm's way, or for never get scared away from the story. So I guess he's just really disappointed with how Ben's been conducting this whole investigation.
Yeah, this guy's kind of urging Ben to get off the phone and stay out of it, and Ben keeps pursuing, this case.
Yeah.
He really wants to know what's going on here with Kingpin and stuff, and this one guy even says he's deaf. Aces, we're 3 minutes from a 6-page blank page. On page 5, Mr. Urich goes deaf. Jameson's gonna, he's annoyed that Urich doesn't have any interest in the paper.
Right.
And Urich's off in la, I'm gonna solve this crime land.
Well, I think Urich's I think intimidated, isn't he? He's kind of afraid of.
Sure.
But I always loved this sequence of the newsroom, with all the bustling going on with. With the news going on behind him. It always reminded me of like The Wire, where you kind of see the chaos of the newsroom. I always thought like a Daily Bugle book would have been really fun to read.
Manolis is talking to him on the phone. He's like, I want to tell you how I helped Kingpin frame Matt Murdock. Yeah. So he's giving Urich all the pieces, but he gets murdered by that. What is it? She's almost like a nurse.
It's the nurse. The nurse.
She's an imposter nurse. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, she's an assassin. So she comes in and just starts choking him out while he's on the phone, which is crazy.
Makes Ben listen to it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And the way that Miller and Mazzucchelli show
Urich's face
just devolving from fear, it's unsettling for sure.
Yeah, it's a cool sequence. I like the final panel of the phone being dropped.
Oh, yeah.
And
there's the blood spitting out of his mouth.
Yeah, that's great.
Incredibly well told and unsettling.
Urich's face literally turning red.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So now Matt and Foggy and Karen are meeting again.
Yeah, they're finally meeting, yeah. And he's just so oblivious to what's going on with her. He just assumes everything's peachy and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, how are things, I mean? And then they cut away.
Yeah.
Foggy's oblivious as usual.
They keep cutting between all these different scenes, and you even see Manoli still getting strangled, while Ben is just kind of in shock. And meanwhile, Kingpin is trying to keep tabs on Nuke. And you just keep cutting back and forth until finally you kind of land on Ben walking in the snow and Foggy and Karen having a heart-to-heart, and Karen says, I'm a junkie.
Yeah, she finally comes clean to him. And she thinks she's like, the only person that can protect me is Matt. Yeah. She's still just trying to get to Matt and stuff. Foggy's shocked. There's a panel where Foggy's like, it's silent, and Foggy's just reacting to this news that Karen's been a junkie all these years.
The acting on this page is exceptional.
Yeah, it's everything's communicated really well.
Yes. And Karen starts blaming herself because Foggy tells her what's happening with Matt, and she's like, "Oh, it's all my fault," which, like, kind of.
Yeah, she's like, I can't go back, with you, Foggy. Polio's gonna come kill me.
Yeah.
She opens up and tells him everything, though.
And so Foggy offers to help, and he says he won't take no for an answer because you and me were family, and Matt's family, and he's finally going to step up and be there for his friend.
Yeah.
And then this composition is so interesting to me, and I
wonder
if this isn't an art history reference to something too, with the triangle over the cross, like breaking up the panel.
I was just thinking
composition of the prayer with a bed in perspective.
I read it, and I'm not sure if this is because I was raised Catholic, but this is like the Trinity.
Oh, sure. That makes perfect sense.
And we're showing that with a triangle.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's interesting. It's also the perspective lines of the bed.
And that's what I'm noting, like the perspective of the bed and the perspective of her leaning in prayer. I'm angling up to the cross.
I'm sure a better comic analysis could tell you more about this panel. And it's incredibly interesting, but that's what I took from it. Was the Trinity. Yeah. And it's just Maggie praying over Matt. Yeah.
We get another introduction to a character we haven't seen yet, and that's Melvin Potter at his costume shop.
He makes the costume. Oh yeah.
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 So that's cool that we get to see a run-in from him, but
he's a character in the Netflix show.
Yeah, he's formerly the Gladiator. He shows up in at the very tail end of Daredevil Yellow, and he also shows up in the middle of the Miller Jansen run. But he's been a Silver Age Daredevil character for a long time. But these guys are coming to commission him for a costume, and we'll see what that's about.
That's his specialty. Yeah.
But the moment you were talking about is at the very end of this issue when Maggie is nursing Matt, who's just come out of like a fit of pneumonia, and he asks Maggie, "Are you my mother?" And she says, "Of course not, child." And her heartbeat jumped, and Matt knows that she's lying.
This is the closest confirmation we get to Maggie being Matt's mother.
Yep.
And I think it's perfect.
I love it.
I love that we aren't black and white told.
You don't need more, because that's not how it always has to be. It's not always that explicit. Issue 231 is saved. Again, kind of following that born-again Christian iconography and themes throughout this whole thing. Matt is back on his feet. He's back at the punching bag, and he's training to get back out there. And when we get to the big splash of the title, he's on his feet. He's no longer laying in bed.
Yeah.
He is risen.
He's saved.
If you will.
Yeah, back to our Catholic symbolism.
Yeah.
And he's ready to bring the fight to Kingpin for sure. He's recovered at this point. It's interesting to note that Matt doesn't wear his costume for this.
It's been 5 issues. And he wore it for 1 page on the first issue, or like 3 pages on the first issue.
Yeah. He holds it tattered in the scene where his apartment blows up. That's about it. That's all the Daredevil costume you get.
Yeah. At least up to this point. There was a Daredevil costume on the cover, if you recall. We'll see what that's about. But basically, while Ben is telling everyone at the office about Nick Manoli's murder, Matt is kind of getting a lay of the land and reading the scraps of newspaper he's finding in the garbage, and trying to get a handle on what's been going on. And he ends up tailing Ben Urich to a diner.
Yeah, and this is where, like, that nurse that's kind of been, like, murdering people, that's obviously, like, working for the Kingpin, like, all of that comes to a head here.
Yeah,
you know,
this is horrifying.
So, like, Ben Urich's, like, just going back to his apartment. And, he's telling this guy about his wife. He's just like, she's from Idaho. She tends to trust people. Takes him in. And then the nurse is, like, in his apartment when he gets there.
Yeah, and jumps him. And there's that moment where his wife Doris looks through the eye hole, and you see that fisheye view of the nurse in the eye hole. Crazy. And Ben finds his wife.
You're right. She's not. I misspoke. I said she's in the apartment.
But look at this panel where she's hanging his wife in the shower.
That part got me.
Oh my god!
Because that's brutal. Because Doris is hanging from the light fixture.
Mazzucchelli almost does this kind of Sienkiewicz thing where he, like, cut out pattern.
Yeah.
And pasted it as her dress. Really, really interesting choice.
It's cool. It still looks great.
So he ends up saving his wife from being choked to death.
Yeah.
But only because Matt shows up to beat the shit out of this nurse.
Yeah, Matt just really lays it on.
And so...
then we check in with Melvin.
Yeah, Melvin calls Ben Urich.
Yeah, and he's like, we ought to talk, I'm waiting for Melvin talks about how Kingpin asked him to make a suit, and then Matt is just like, you can go ahead and make it, and you'll be fine. Because Melvin's worried about working for the Kingpin, which is exactly how the Netflix show is. I mean, the Netflix show is kind of like, I'm worried Kingpin's going to hurt my girlfriend, He's kind of got a speech impediment, right?
Yeah, I think he's got some learning disabilities or something like that, I think is the implication.
Yeah.
Even Melvin Potter's voice is consistent across the Daredevil history. It's really incredible, and I think that's you know what this is? It's the strength of having a singular author leave an imprint on a character, because everyone has a definitive thing to work off of. So Foggy's trying to help Karen through her withdrawals, and she's just looking haggard. But she's noticing that Paulo is following them.
We did skip over one part that's fairly important, where Kingpin goes to recruit his psychopath.
Oh, yeah.
That he basically becomes an imposter, Daredevil, to frame him, and that's who Melvin is making the costume for. So it's like Kingpin's in the prison, and this doctor, it's basically a doctor, or a psychiatrist in the asylum, I assume. They don't tell you where he's at. And he's just talking to Kingpin. He's like, he goes for knives mostly. I warn you, he's unpredictable. And then Kingpin's just like, he'll do. Arrange for his release. He sounds like a great psycho. I'll take him. And so Melvin's just like, I was told, to make this suit. And then Matt shows up and he's like, make the costume. No one will be hurt. Anyway, and then now let's bounce the Foggy and Karen.
But while that's happening, Karen sees Paulo outside of Foggy's house, so he's obviously followed her. Foggy calls the police. Meanwhile, the man who
Polio.
Oh, I'm talking about the guy the imposter.
He's getting his briefing from Kingpin's man, and he's isn't he the guy with the crazy character voice? I think so. He's like, Mr. Potter did a consummate job on the costume. Yeah. For you, the verbal persuasion, I am certain that you would agree, and put it on and listen closely as I give you your instructions.
Those $10 words.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that character voice is like he uses the big words, but he doesn't use them correctly sometimes. Oh, yeah. It's just like...
it's all an act.
Yeah, he's pretending to be smarter than he is.
I love that.
I think it's hilarious.
It's so funny. But it tells you everything you need to know about that character.
Yeah.
So the cops show up and have a shootout with Paulo.
Paulio's going wild in the streets of New York.
Dude, it's nuts. It's nuts. And let me tell you, it gets worse for New York.
And he doesn't care. Like, this dude's crazy. Like, the cops start shooting at him. He's blasting cops. He's shooting holes in Foggy's apartment. Like, Paulio's wild.
It's nuts.
You don't care.
And so they give this imposter the Daredevil costume, and the imposter immediately beats his handler.
This is one of my favorite parts, actually. He's like, so he's giving, this is the last scene with the guy with the strange voice. I'm just going to read it. I love this scene so much. He's like, move swiftly and make with an appearance at the window. And don't forget the escape route. Elsewise, you will be apprehended, which would blow the plan in its entireness.
Amazing.
Yeah. Apartment 5B. Say it back so I know you are not without ears. And then he punches him. He's like, 5B.
Over and over again?
Yeah. and the psychopath just repeats the name of the room over and over as he beats him to death. He's like, 5B, 5B, 5B. And he keeps smacking him over and over.
This whole sequence is nuts.
It's great.
Because now Karen hits Foggy with a potted plant so she can get him out, so she can get away
escape the polio
with him following her.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the imposter Daredevil is trying to get into the apartment, and so Matt Murdock punches and kicks his way through the door to beat the shit out of this Daredevil imposter.
It's great.
It's great. And then Paulo grabs Karen, but the cops also get to, or no, Kingpin's hitmen get to Paulo, and there's this it's so much happening. And Matt is just back tip-top shape, beating the crap out of this imposter. And kind of puts the pieces together that Karen is around. And Paulo ultimately takes one to the chest.
Yeah, Paulo gets taken out by the cops or the mobsters. Yeah. Something's going on. There's a lot going on.
There's so much going on.
Yeah, so Paulo just bleeds to death. And in his last moments of death, Karen pulls the last heroin hit out of his jacket. Yeah. She's like, I'm going for... I thought this was nuts rereading this. Yeah. She's just like, I'm trying to get one more hit. She pulls it out of Polio's jacket as he's dying.
Oh my gosh. Won't even feel the bullet. One last... Find the vein. I love you, Matt. But before she can, she drops it because Matt comes to her rescue.
Yeah, Matt hits this icicle... Polio lifts his gun to kill Karen because and then
he's a dick.
Yeah, basically, the icicle falls, hits his hand. Matt saves Karen, and I love this full page spread of Karen holding Matt.
It's so cathartic.
It's such a good moment.
Oh my gosh, it's beautifully rendered. It's beautifully composed, and it's just thematically so it just. Like a release of tension.
There's so much build up to this moment. It's like Karen.
We spent 5 issues building up to this moment.
Karen and Matt are suffering through this whole story, and you're right. It is a release to finally be like, wow, they're back together.
They're the one. They needed each other in order to prop themselves back up from the hell they've been through.
Yeah.
And they finally find each other.
It's great.
It's incredible.
So that happens so psychopath. And I was rereading this. I couldn't help but think of Daredevil season 3,
sure,
and the choice of taking the psychopath out and replacing it with Bullseye. I think that works.
Oh yeah,
I'm not even mad about it.
I think it's elegant. Because what's the difference?
There's no difference. I was gonna say that they're almost the same character.
It gives you more, honestly, because you have that knowledge that it's Bullseye who. As a fan, that carries way more weight than just some rando in a Daredevil costume. It's almost more offensive that it's Bullseye wearing the Daredevil costume and doing all these heinous things because you know
what happens later. The rivalry.
You know what Bullseye is capable of, and that's way more upsetting. So, by some counts, that's the end of Born Again.
Yeah.
However, there are 2 more issues that include Nuke. That kind of tie off the Daredevil Kingpin rivalry that we get some threads from, and it ties up the things with Karen Page.
Kingpin's trying to become a political figure. He's trying to clear his name, but he kind of overestimates his role with recruiting Nuke. He gets overzealous.
Yes.
And Nuke is uncontrollable. He's a killing machine. He bombs everything. He shoots everything. He makes this giant scene in New York. And it implicates Kingpin. And so, like, Kingpin doesn't get to rise up in social circles just as far as he wanted to,
right.
and be this, he's viewed as a criminal again.
Yeah. I think that's a good summary, kind of what we're about to walk through. So we'll do some highlights of this. I think the art in this is incredible. There's some great, like, I'm looking at the title page, God and Country, where it has Matt and Karen holding each other while she's trying to go through withdrawal. And there's some really good character stuff in here.
I love the portrayal of Duke. I love, like...
Of Nuke?
Nuke, and how he keeps talking about our boys. Like, referencing the military. He's, like, very loyal to America. There's even a scene where, like, Kingpin manipulates Duke. Or is it Nuke?
Nuke.
It's Nuke. I keep confusing him with G.I. Joe.
Right. He basically drops a nuke on New York, and it causes a lot of hell.
Yeah, so like, Nuke, and there's this, like I said, there's a scene with Kingpin where he manipulates him, and he's like, you know, I am a patriot. And he has this big monologue about how he believes in America and the system, and you know it's all bullshit. It's Kingpin telling him this. It reminds me of a certain
let's talk about something else, quick.
Yeah. So
interestingly, Nuke is a member of the Secret Soldier, a super soldier
with
program.
Captain America.
It's an effort to do Operation Rebirth again, and it's another example of it going terribly wrong. And he uses pills that are red, white, and blue that offer different types of reactions and responses. The reds make him really strong, I think. I honestly don't know what all the different pills do.
I thought this cross-hatching on page 6 of Kingpin's face is wild.
Oh, yeah.
That almost carefree in its execution, but it looks good.
Especially given how kind of precise Mazzucchelli is. It is cool seeing the times when he chooses to be a little erratic with his line.
It's a little sketchy looking, but I like it.
But the scene of Karen biting Matt's shoulder is what I was referring to, with her
she's suffering.
But they're propping each other up literally, because they are who the other one needed to get through all this, and they finally have each other. And it's beautiful.
It's kind of the theme here.
Yeah.
We get more Duke being Nuke being a psychopath.
Ben and Foggy meet up at the park and talk about Glory. We get some shots of, I think that's Glory at the camera.
So there's a part where Kingpin's blackmailing this commissioner. He's just like, I've seen your wife with this cocktail waitress. So, you know, I'm trying to remember what he's blackmailing him for. Reduce charges in exchange for returning state's evidence. He's lining up an interview with Lois, so I'm not sure who that is yet.
Oh, is it they caught the nurse. The nurse's name was Lois.
Oh, so Lois is that crazy nurse. Okay.
So the district attorney has agreed to reduce charges in exchange for her turning state's evidence, and he's not about to let that happen.
Yeah.
She can name names. So Matt's cleaning up.
This is one of my favorite panels, actually.
This is terrific. It's terrific.
With Karen Page is like, it's symbolic of the story and things going on. So Matt has to leave.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like Karen's in bed recovering, but she's like holding Daredevil's costume. I love that panel.
I think symbolically, incredibly on message, incredibly thematic.
That's one of my favorite panels, I think, in this whole, I guess, trade. I'll call it a trade or collection, whatever you want to call it.
Carl, we got to talk about this phone interview sequence.
What's up?
Oh my gosh. So this is when they interview Lois, the nurse. And
oh God, I remember this part. This part's crazy.
They got the photographer there, they got Ben there, and they got
this is wild.
A couple other guys there. I think a couple of dirty cops, because what happens is
a shootout.
Before the interview happens, Coogan pulls a gun.
Coogan, what are you?
Mows down Lois, mows down the cops, gets ready to shoot the photographer before Ben jumps him and is
Ben
able to
jumps
stop
in
it.
and Ben almost beats him to death. He grabs one of the firearms that landed, maybe one of the cops' revolvers, and just beats this guy in the face with it.
But this rhythm of blam, click, where she's photographing all this carnage, it's just, and then where he's beating him, the sound effect is click, 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 like she's photographing all of it.
Yeah.
And he's just totally in a fugue state, like he's gone berserk. But yeah, he bashes that dude's brains in, and then it's just him and the photographer in this room.
Everybody's dead
surrounded by bodies.
Yeah, the photographer and Ben Urich.
Yeah.
It's a crazy turn for Urich's character because you don't really see him do stuff like this.
No, I don't.
He kind of snaps.
It's the most action.
We have Nuke. I think this is where that scene I was talking about earlier, where Kingpin's manipulating Nuke.
And just again to note some compositions. Note how Fisk is holding the American flag.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how, he believes in America.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about.
I know the startles you, but as I said, so much has changed. America's enemies have grown so strong that our boys die in Asian jungles and our people will not honor them.
Our boys.
And it tortures me that the noble concept of free enterprise, the crowning triumph of our forefathers, so familiar, has been murdered by endless corrosive legislation. So familiar. To simply keep some shadow of that dream alive, I must break the law. He's holding the flag saying, to keep the dream alive, the shadow of a dream alive, I need to break the law.
Yeah.
Hold on to that idea, because this comes back later when another character holds the flag and says something very different. Because later, I don't know, is it this issue or the next issue? It's next issue. Just hold on to this thought, because it's a connection I'm making just now, and I think it's so interesting.
This is one of my favorite scenes.
This criminal capitalist is basically manipulating an American soldier into fighting for a capitalist cause, a criminal capitalist cause, not the American cause. Just it's got me so excited. Okay,
yeah.
So Matt's working. I think
I love this panel too. He's got Nuke all fired up in this big speech he just gave about how
well he conveys that. Emotion.
He's like, I need to break the law to save America, essentially. And he's like, where is he? And he's like, whispers in his ear. He's like, Hell's Kitchen. Like, you got all you need to know. And that sets up Nuke for that rampage.
Yep. So we'll just go ahead and skip ahead to when he jumps out of the helicopter and he just starts blowing people away.
Bombing everything.
And he's launching like military grade rifles. He's launching bazookas. He's tearing the city apart. Matt finds Karen laying in rubble holding the Daredevil costume. And this is where he starts suiting up for the first time in 6 issues. Hell's Kitchen is under fire. And literally a nuke is falling on Hell's Kitchen. Like, this character is having a one-man war on Daredevil's home. And then you get this freaking get out of your seat cheering moment where Daredevil is back in the costume.
Back,
hellfire behind him. And the next is Armageddon. It's just exciting.
I get why this stuff's included in the trade. I mean,
I'm amazed that anyone ever thought it shouldn't be part of the storyline.
It's still Miller and Jansen, and it's the end of the story.
And Mazzucchelli, it's the same story.
Yeah, it's the same story. This issue is respectfully dedicated to Jack Kirby.
Oh, man.
Here.
Well, and this one features Captain America pretty heavily because he's on the cover. But the water, a Frank Miller water tower is blowing up.
Got that classic flip,
Yep, another DeLuca effect of the of Daredevil flipping through, dodging gunfire.
Tim Sale would be proud.
Oh, absolutely! I'm sure he read this and
that's what I mean. He definitely looked at this.
And it's an incredible fight. I'm trying to find. This is basically one giant action scene with some incredible choreography.
It's almost like like Dark Knight, and like I said, that point of view that Frank gives Daredevil, and let me go for his eyes, that he doesn't feel pain. We're narrating the fight with Nuke. I like a shot of I believe this is like Kingpin watching with
binoculars.
with binoculars, and the city's burning in the background.
He's smiling.
It's wild,
like a freaking psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, really good fight. Really even fight.
The whole issue's a fight, honestly.
But I want to cut ahead. I know we're skipping a lot.
That's
fine. We need to go to page 10 of your digital reader.
Okay.
Out of nowhere they appear. A soldier with a voice that could command a god, and does. Suddenly it's raining so hard it hurts. Everybody who can falls silent, except Matt. The Avengers show up. And this moment is repeatedly brought up by Captain America fans as some of the best description of Captain America and why he's important. Because he has the voice that can command a god, and does. And that's
a great description.
Yeah. The power of Captain America is like a Norse god respects him so much that he will do whatever he says.
I love this portrayal of Avengers in Daredevil's corner of the Marvel Universe. And I think he writes it great as like what Iron Man would act like as like a government asset.
Yeah.
And same with Cap and stuff. And it's like they're really here to clean up the neighborhood as government agents. But Miller still retains their voices and their characteristics. They're not written out of character, but
no, they're not.
I wish more portrayals had of Cap and the Avengers had them like interacting with Daredevil in this way.
Yeah, sure.
Because I think other portrayals are more cartoony. This is like this is like a really realistic take of him meeting the Avengers in the real world.
I'm saying it's weird because like now Daredevil has become an Avenger and is like served on the Avengers. And I do think that's a little strange. It's a little strange because I don't know if he fits.
I don't think
I love the look of shame Captain America has when he looks at Nuke. Like,
that panel's great.
It doesn't even need words.
The disgrace. He's ashamed he's wearing the flag.
Ashamed he's wearing the flag. And ashamed that this boy, this military boy, has been turned into this.
I like Iron Man telling Matt to stay down with like his repulsor ray.
Yeah.
Like they don't even need to explain it. Like he holds up the repulsor, his hand.
Yeah.
And you're like, Iron Man can level a building if he wanted to. And he's pointing that at Matt, and he's like, hey, back off, buddy. I'm about to blast you.
Frank Miller Avengers run would have been really interesting. I don't know if
Frank Miller comics are always interesting.
That's true. I don't know if he would ever want to do it, though.
I think he's over capes in general. I like superheroes.
Yeah.
I think he is. I think
so.
Especially now.
Right.
In another world, I would love to have seen it.
Yeah, and like if this is a taste of what it could have been like, it would have been really interesting. I think he would have had something to say. So we go back to the church. Well, yeah, you're right. Kingpin's in the sauna.
Yeah, it's basically this one mobster thinks Kingpin's screwing up. He starts chewing him out. Kingpin starts smiling, and he chokes him to death.
Yeah, this guy makes the mistake of bringing up Vanessa, which is so stupid.
And this echoes the Netflix show. Yeah, anytime somebody brings up Vanessa, you're dead. It's like, don't you talk bad about my girl, and then he kills him every time. And this totally inspired the Netflix show, this scene in particular. Because it's like you said, he just brings up Vanessa. Next snap. Reminds me of Darth Vader. He's like off in his emeralds.
Right.
And stuff, Anyway. Yeah, now we're back to church.
Take
me to church.
The church has become a refuge for the people who were hurt in the attack. And Matt finds Karen there. And they kiss, so they're kind of...
They're back.
They're rekindling.
Yeah.
And Matt goes to... because he hears...
Something a block away or something.
Yeah, that sounds kind of like Nuke, like someone who's like, there's his scent, he's moving, his heartbeat is steady, and so he meets Captain America on the roof, and they kind of have words, and Matt calls the Nuke's handlers Captain America's employers. And Cap takes offense to it.
Yeah, Cap's insulted, and he's just like, they said Nuke's a terrorist.
Yeah, these guys are terrorists. I'm not with them. He wears the flag, which is because Matt's like, why do you care about what happened here? About like you, he's nothing to you. What is he to you? And Cap says, well, he wears the flag, and that's why it matters. And of course, Matt says, I hadn't noticed because he can't see it. So of course, like the iconography of the flag on his face is completely missed by Matt Murdock.
It has a personal connection, like Matt only a personal connection to Cap. Matt only sees the corruption.
Yes.
Matt only sees that it's a force he needs to stop, whereas Cap is conflicted by duty and
and like by his faith in the system, because now Matt's faith in the system is corroded, and he's no longer about that. He's not a lawyer anymore. He doesn't believe the system totally was turned against him.
Yeah, he's lost everything.
So anyway, Cap has a lot of soul searching to do, so he goes and confronts this general, and the general says, "You know how these things. I really wish I could tell you, Captain. Then you'd know it's nothing to. I wish I could. The department holds you in this highest regard. We've always valued your commitment and your loyalty." And Captain America grabs the flag and says, "I'm loyal to nothing, General, except the dream."
Now, this calls back to what you put a note in earlier.
In contrast to last issue's moment where Kingpin says...
Holding the flag.
I'm holding the flag, and he says, I will do whatever it takes to bring this shadow of a dream back. And in his mind, the American dream is unfettered free enterprise and
crime.
Criminal capitalism.
Yeah.
And Captain America is in direct contrast to that.
Holding the flag and saying, I only believe in the dream of America.
Almost identical composition, like I'm only loyal to the dream, like personal interests and governments and all these things don't matter. It's the American dream that I stand for. And it's, again, another moment that's held up as a very powerful Captain America moment.
I think this is, I would argue this is one of the best written Captain America scenes ever.
And it's a couple panels in a Daredevil comic.
3 panels.
I know,
it's 3 panels.
Wild.
Yeah.
I just think it's incredible.
It's a powerful moment.
Yeah. And we can stick with Captain America for a little while he's kind of learning about Nuke and about...
Daredevil Born Again, essential book. Like, you have to read this. Like, even if you're not even a Daredevil fan.
As a Marvel fan, I think it's... As a comics fan.
As a comics fan, you have to read it. It's essential. It's an essential book, in my eyes.
I agree.
I don't think youth would agree with me.
The youth would agree. The youth would agree. They're all about unfettered capitalism and the American dream.
Absolutely.
But Nuke's not done. Nuke's gonna... break out, and Captain America's going to confront him and give him a little whoop-fer. And another good action scene. Man, Mazzucchelli just does incredible action scenes.
I love this shot of Nuke psychotically gripping the pill. It just shows how unhinged he is.
Oh my gosh, he just mainlines a whole bunch of reds, which kind of sends him on a berserker rage.
And I love this where he holds up the newspaper and he's like... You'll serve it better overseas, son. That's where the enemy is. And Nuke says, no, the enemy is here. Here! Could that be more on the nose?
Oh, it's so on the nose.
That's wild that Frank put that in here.
The enemy within?
Yeah, exactly. It's wild.
Said by a deranged lunatic. I love this free fall of Captain America shoving Nuke through a window and they crash through the roof and everything. And in the end, he helps him up. And he carries him... tries to carry him to safety because he wants to kind of help him because he understands that he's been failed. And so Daredevil arrives to kind of help get Nuke to safety. And
take care of the situation.
And then at the end, this is so beautiful. This is so beautiful thematically. As they are driving the cab and they get to the Daily Bugle, Matt dumps Nuke onto Ben Urich's desk in a not only is it the above shot of the bed composition.
Yeah, it's calling back to that.
But it's inverted.
Mm-hmm.
It's now the Antichrist pose, right?
Yeah.
So it's the upside down crucifixion that we've been seeing Matt as the crucified figure on the bed for 5 issues.
Is this like corruption in America being crucified? What's the symbolism here of this?
I mean,
of having an upside down.
I think it's jingoism. I think it's criminal capitalism corrupting patriotism and the system being used to destroy us instead of prop us up and help us. I think
it's Matt defeating the corrupt system.
Yeah.
It's basically what it is. He's overlooking it.
Yeah.
Like, look, Daredevil's leaning on top of it.
Yeah.
It's full of symbolism. I even think you could write a thesis another way about this. You know what I mean?
Probably more. There you can unpack this whole thing.
Yeah.
It's incredibly dense. Incredibly dense. And I love that it ends with Matt and Karen both looking happy and healthy, walking the streets of Hell's Kitchen as it's being reconstructed.
I do too.
Just as they themselves have been reconstructed. So they have been torn down. Hell's Kitchen has been torn down. They are being built back up as Hell's Kitchen is being built back up. My name is Matt Murdock. I was blinded by radiation. My remaining senses function with superhuman sharpness. I live in Hell's Kitchen and do my best to keep it clean, and that's all you need to know. Frank Miller has torn apart all the trappings of Matt Murdock, and all that's left is that he's a man with radioactive senses who lives in Hell's Kitchen, who tries to make it better. That's all that Daredevil needs to be Daredevil. He doesn't need the law firm. He doesn't need the girlfriends. He doesn't need the costume even. He's just Matt Murdock trying to make Hell's Kitchen better.
It's a great deconstruction of the character. I think it's one of the best deconstructions in superhero comics.
Unquestionably.
And it's really hard to have stakes and high power levels and stuff, but he keeps that tension up.
Yeah.
Despite it being, deconstruction. And it's a great ending. I love Matt in the red.
Yes.
In the end and stuff, and Karen's happy. White. Karen's actually happy. Karen's
happy and healthy. With red shoes. I just saw that.
Yeah, I just noticed the red shoes for the first time.
I feel like that has to be significant.
Sure.
I think of the things we've read, and we've read a lot of great stuff. I think this is still probably the best.
Oh yeah.
It's a 5-star book. It's a 5-star book, and a great way to cap off the Week Without Fear.
Yeah, that's right. The Week Without Fear, Daredevil. You want to talk about how we feel about Daredevil as a character overall?
So we're gearing up for the debut of his series revival on Disney Plus. We just covered over a half dozen Daredevil comics, most of which were by Frank Miller, admittedly. There were a lot more runs that we haven't covered that maybe we'll cover some.
I swayed Kyle. We were going to read some stuff that wasn't Frank Miller, but I swayed Kyle to read the Elektra death and some other things.
Everything that comes after that stuff is just trying to emulate that stuff or is in conversation with that stuff. So I think it was a good call. And I'm not against covering more stuff that's Daredevil related later. But for this week, these are some of the seminal runs, some of the seminal stories that we think are important.
And that's why we covered these.
That's exactly
what they are. This is the best of Daredevil. If you're a new reader, these books are all recommended.
I think we just gave you a reading list. Yeah, I think so.
I think anybody listening has probably read these too. They might be searching it out.
If not, I hope you got a reason to go chase them down and read them, and B, I hope you read them along with us. I hope you read, you hear us talk about it, you go read it, and then you come back and listen to our commentary, because
that's what the comics section of the show is
about. It's
absolutely,
It's for you to read along and get some value out of what you're reading with us. I feel like this cemented, like we've been kind of talking about, the consistency of Daredevil as a character thematically, in terms of psychology, in terms of character development, in terms of characterization. I think all those things have been carried since the Miller run. And I do think it's because Frank Miller came in with a vision, with a singular voice.
It's a great foundation.
And laid a foundation and established a set of rules for Daredevil that you can either live by or break. But it's all going to be in conversation with that. And so when you write Daredevil now, and you don't use the same type of internal voice, I think readers catch on because it's so strongly tied to Matt Murdock now. You can't escape it. And I think that's one of the reasons why he's so strongly written. And it's the same reason why, like, Peter Parker had Stan Lee's voice for a long time. I think that's one of the reasons why Spider-Man lasted as strong for as long as it did. Although, I would argue not as consistently.
I think Daredevil consistently has good stories because of this run.
I don't know any other Marvel character.
Spider-Man isn't this consistent.
That's what I was going to ask. Is there a character as consistent? And maybe our audience has an answer. Maybe it's, I don't know, Wolverine?
I think Hulk is fairly consistent.
Hulk is pretty consistent.
Yeah, Hulk doesn't change up a lot, but Hulk's also simple. Like, Hulk just fights monsters.
Well, we were making fun of the Punisher. Like, I was making fun of the Punisher, but Punisher's pretty consistent.
Yeah. Punisher's unwavering.
That's pretty consistent.
He's the same.
And I think the list is small.
The list of Fantastic Four.
Ben Grimm.
The others have changed and been adapted to the times, but like Ben Grimm, it's hard to take away that New York accent from the Thing.
That
and
kind
like,
of lovable gruffness,
Yeah, and like take that away, it's almost not the character.
He's got like understandable complexity. Like it's like straight. I wouldn't call it simple. It's straightforward complexities where he's like this tortured, fun-loving monster teddy bear. Like and in the same way, Matt Murdock is this tortured, swaggering screw up.
I think just to put a capstone on kind of my thoughts, I think Born Again is the most successful story in getting the themes of Catholicism, the devil, the corruption, like all instilled into one narrative.
It's incredibly dense and incredibly packed with allegory.
Yeah, and nothing is really as complex as it. Like
from Marvel, certainly.
Yeah, it's kind of a high point for sure. You know, like we could talk. We brought up Watchmen while we were discussing it, so like I think you could almost put it in the same pedigree.
It's in that conversation.
Yeah, it's in there.
I don't know that there are, and this is controversial to say. I don't know that there are that many Marvel evergreen stories as dense and effective and as high quality as Born Again.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go out of my way and say it's the best thing Marvel ever published because I'm not.
That's so subjective too.
It's so subjective.
So subjective.
And I'm not well read enough to even have an informed opinion on that. Like
yeah,
I've read what I've read and I've not read what I haven't read. I can't say it's the best thing they ever made. However, I have not read anything Marvel has published that I think is better than this. I think it is the best Marvel book I think I've probably read that's this self-contained and this evergreen.
And it's what is it, 6 issues, 7 issues? Something like that.
7 issues, I think.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's fairly self-contained. I could hand this to somebody. You know, you don't need all of Karen Page's backstory. It starts off with her becoming the junkie that she is throughout this run and kind of the redemption and stuff. You don't need to know a lot about Matt either. Matt almost becomes a new person by the end of this arc. And that's one of the things that I think makes this so successful is all of our characters change throughout this story.
It's such a short time frame. And
Foggy changes, Matt changes, you know.
It's I adore this book, and I encourage anyone who hasn't read it to read it. And I adore this character. I think Matt Murdock is a top 5 comic book character for me.
Okay.
Certainly a top 5 Marvel character.
I think I would put him up there too. Definitely top 5. Yeah. Definitely top 5, along with Punisher.
Oh yeah. Well, I know Punisher's your number 1. I mean,
maybe
like,
Jean Grey, Phoenix,
sure.
maybe in there too.
No,
Kitty
I mean,
Pryde's in the conversation.
Oh
too.
yeah, Kitty's
we
in
want to
there
get there.
too.
Yeah,
I think right
Kitty's
now,
great.
I think my top 3 are Cat, Thing, and Daredevil right now.
I have troll. I like all of it. I've been reading classic Fantastic Four too. I'm like a big fan of that too.
Yeah.
The Jack Kirby stuff. Sorry, it doesn't have the depth of this. No, but is it a fun read? Yes, incredibly fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, those issues are incredibly fun.
And again, that's why I hesitate to say that this Born Again is the best thing Marvel ever made, because that not only is it subjective, but you have to use a completely different metric to measure the quality of 60s Jack Kirby Fantastic Four stuff, which was
this is
10 times
deconstruction.
Absolutely. It's a totally different goal that they have in mind, and I think they accomplished their goals very well.
So I kind of wanted to end the week without fear with, do you have any predictions for Born Again, the new Daredevil TV show? Any thoughts on it? I've seen the trailers, the snippets of a trailer. I don't think there is an actual trailer.
I've avoided a lot because I don't want to know a whole lot going in.
What's a prediction you have for the series, though?
Oh, man. I'll tell you what I hope for. I hope they take advantage of the fact that this is not a Netflix show. This is a Marvel project. This is a MCU Disney Plus project. I hope they take advantage of that, and I hope we integrate Daredevil into the MCU a little more.
More than just mentions.
Not to the point where like it's distracting, but like the last time we saw Matt Murdock, he was hanging out with Jennifer Walters. I think it would be cool if we saw a little bit more Jennifer Walters. I don't need to see She-Hulk. It would be cool to see Tatiana Maslany as Jennifer Walters again.
Okay.
I would like... I would love for more of the Netflix characters to appear. I don't know if they will. I hope... primarily Jessica. I would like Jessica Jones back.
Jessica Jones she's great as... was it Kristen Ritter?
Kristen Ritter.
Yeah, she's great as that character. She is. She's fantastic.
Incredibly good.
Yeah.
She's honestly...
fun take on it.
Yeah, she nailed it. She nailed that characterization. As far as predictions of like what I think will happen, God, I don't even know. I don't know, because Born Again's kind of already been adapted. They're really just taking the title. Yeah,
they're it's meta.
Yeah,
the characters reborn.
Yeah, just like Spider-Man: Homecoming was him coming home to Marvel. I mean, this is just he's born again. As
I don't like my stuff to be that on the nose, but they're doing what they're doing.
That's okay.
I want to see Bullseye in costume.
I would like that.
Yeah, I want Bullseye in costume. It was kind of teased in season 3. They had the flashback of Bullseye's origin, where he's on the baseball team, and I think Fisk puts a hat on him that has the Bullseye logo, or whatever. They've like teased it. Just go all in. Like give me Bullseye's costume. I know it's hokey, but I want it.
Speaking of hokey, give John Bernthal's Punisher just a black T-shirt with a skull on it.
Yeah, I want that too.
I don't need body armor with like some ghost-looking skull on it. Just put a white skull on him.
I'm hoping Punisher shows up. I would like that. I want Punisher to maybe show up in the show, even if he's just mentioned. I'll be happy. Beyond that, maybe Fisk and Spider-Man. I would like...
Spider-Man's kind of like the pie-in-the-sky hope, right? Like, Daredevil
I think they'll do it. He was already in No Way Home.
He needs to swing around with Spider-Man. Daredevil and Spider-Man need to hang out as superheroes. In the same way that I sure as hell better get Johnny Storm hanging out with Spider-Man before Tom Holland's finished.
I think it's a crime we haven't gotten, like, Hulk and Wolverine yet.
Oh, like on film, a little bit of Deadpool and Wolverine.
We did get a little bit, but I mean like a full confrontation.
You want like a crossover,
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and are we ever going to get a Thing Hulk confrontation? I don't even know if that'll happen. I mean, there's
I know.
So many
not till a reboot.
Not until the reboot.
Probably won't when until reboot. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up the week without fear?
I'm glad we did this. This was so much work, and I'm so glad we did it.
I'm glad it's going to be out in the world.
It's going to be out in the world, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me say this, too. If you like kind of mainlining one character in a short amount of time, and us just talking about a character for a week...
This is a new format.
We're
testing. Yeah.
And we're not going to do this every week.
No. Certainly not. This is a special thing because Daredevil's coming out.
And we're excited about it.
Yeah.
And there are other things like Superman's going to come out in the summer. We're excited about that. Maybe expect something similar. Fantastic Four is coming out in the summer. We love Fantastic Four. I'm not saying we're not going to do these things more often, but if, let's say there are characters that we're excited about that are not expecting a big Hollywood release soon, would you be interested as listeners in us doing more kind of overviews of a character in comics?
We want this to be a conversation. Send us our thoughts. Send your thoughts on Born Again. I would love more theories on some of the imagery.
Give me your analysis of Born Again.
Yeah.
Forward me your college thesis on Born Again.
I was about to say, send me your thesis. I'd love to read it. I'm online reading theses right now.
It's so dense. And if you're looking if you're interested in comics and you need a thesis topic, Born Again, man, do the religious iconography in Born Again, or the socioeconomic commentary on Born Again.
Don't do Watchmen. We've seen it too many times.
I mean, yeah, Watchmen's
I'm
fine.
I'm just kidding.
This is more optimistic than Watchmen.
Definitely is. The ending definitely
more optimistic. This is way more upward looking, which is. Oh no, I'm going to make this show 20 minutes longer.
Yeah,
we talked before about the pendulum of deconstruction and
that's what I mean. You can't
aspiration
reach the heights that a normal story can with deconstruction. Your characters are, especially in superheroes, your characters are always depowered.
Right. But in this,
always.
Matt goes to deconstruction and claws his way back to aspiration by the end.
That's what I mean. There's a cool arc with Matt.
It's one of those unique circumstances that is able to be uplifting and deconstructionist. And that doesn't happen. And I feel like Daredevil's built for that. Daredevil is built to be a character to be torn down and built back up stronger. And I love that about him. That's one of the reasons why he's one of my favorite Marvel characters. Carl, I've enjoyed this.
Yeah, it's been fun.
I'm so glad it's over. I'm exhausted.
Week without fear. I'm exhausted too, but I think it'll be worth it to discuss Daredevil in this capacity too. I mean, we covered a full range of Daredevil tales.
And I'm not tired of Daredevil.
I'm not either. I could cover more Daredevil.
Way more Daredevil.
The sequel Without Fear.
The second. Another
second coming.
A month. Oh, great! Look, religious iconography.
Yeah, look what I'm doing now.
You were definitely
I'm so meta.
Oh, amazing! The month Without Fear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So looking forward to Born Again. Send us your thoughts. Kyle, do you have anything you want to promote? Any comics? Any of your work you want to talk about? Kyle is a cartoonist. He doesn't say it a lot, but he is.
Our cartoon drawings. Ko-fi.com/kylewindle if you want to see what those look like. Cornelius Armstrong, Adventures and Antics, Thunderduck, Mad Science Rejects, and their pending sequels. Commission me and Carl for commissions if you are interested and are interested in having some of our work on your wall. Carl.
That's right. You can find me at www.carllucasdraws.bsky.social. I do workshops. I draw comics. I make minis. Hit me up. All the information is there. Shogun Bear in the House of Horrors is my graphic novel I push. The sequel is being worked on right now. I don't know when I'll be done with it. It's coming eventually.
It'll be here. First
before you know it.
Contact at IssuesWithCartoons.com with your Born Again theses. And follow, like, subscribe, rate, review, share, comment on our podcast wherever you are listening. Tell your friends. I am so glad that we talked about Daredevil. I'm excited for the show. Stay up late and watch it with us. And more issues to come next week.
Stay tuned.